Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Funi. These are my opinions and no one else's. So today I'll be talking about teenage pregnancy, or as I would like to call it, child pregnancy. The latest adolescent pregnancy data from Statistics South Africa shows that 90,037 girls aged between the ages of 10 and 19 years gave birth from March 2021 to April 2022 across all provinces. If you are a parent, please take a moment of silence to let that sink in. If you are still lucky and your child has not yet made a grandparent out of you, it is time to really consider your options. If you are already a grandparent, it is never too late to also consider your options. Do not relax because you are already a grandparent. They might hit you with another one. The sad part of it is that you, as the grandparent, you are legally obligated to take care of your grandchild if the parent is unable to do so. So basically, your child was your surrogate. They bore a child for you to take care of. Some of you parents do have the talk with your daughters. However, only a handful of you have the same talk with the boys. Parents of boys tend to be too relaxed when it comes to talking about pregnancy. The girl might be the one to carry the baby, but she definitely didn't impregnate herself. What is the point of having the pregnancy conversation with the girl and not with the boy child? The reason why most men do not see the need to play their part as fathers is because they had no idea what the consequences of teenage pregnancy might be. Well, unfortunately, the ignorance gets rewarded in our society by making them pay child support, or what we all know as child maintenance. I think that with the above statistics, we can safely say that there is a huge break in communication between the parents and the children. There are still parents who are still stuck up in the medieval times where they frown upon sex talk. Parents need to stop putting their children's well being or life education in the hands of the teachers. Teachers should only be a buffer after the parent has extensively educated their children on life matters. When a 10-year-old gets pregnant, it simply means that she was an early maturer or she experienced puberty too early than her peers. Now, at 10 years old, the poor kid cannot talk to anyone, firstly, because depending on where she comes from, and also the fact that her peers are not there yet, therefore, no talk about sex and menstruation. Parents need to have the menstrual cycle talk with the girls from a very young age. My mother had the talk with me when I was as little as 9 years old. It was embarrassing, but it really helped a lot when I started my period at 11. I knew exactly what it meant as is. Looking back now, I really appreciate the relationship I had with my mother because it made it easier for me to make life choices when it came to boys and my body. People used to frown upon how free I was around my mother about boys, but it actually helped me not to actually try and go out there and steal the juice. You know, when you are given permission, you tend to not really do the things that you would have done if you were actually sneaking out of the home and going out partying and all that. So I was allowed to do all those things. So whenever I felt like I wanted to go out to a party or go out with a boyfriend, I would tell my mother and she will tell me whether it's okay or not. Sometimes being open to your child helps them know what they want, helps them know who they are, and that they can actually come to you to talk to you about things that they would literally go to their peers for. As parents, you need to talk to your girls and boys about sex and pregnancy. We are too quick to tell them about HIV infections, but this also only happens when the parents feel that it is the right time for them. Sex talk and pregnancy talk should not rely on the parent being ready. This is not about you. You have already made your mistakes, so now it is your turn to help your child avoid those mistakes. The child is always ready for new information. Children still have a lot of capacity to add new information to their brains. Therefore, what you teach your child at this age, they will definitely carry it with them for the rest of their lives. Do you want your child to carry the whole children are from the helicopter story? Just look at our generation, the things we were taught. Some of them, even if we know they are not right or correct, we still have a part of us that believes in them. You are not protecting your child, but damaging his or her future by not being open and honest about life. Would you rather have an unwanted, unplanned grandkid, something you cannot reverse, over having the talk with your child? When the child is born, There is nothing we can do except to love and support both the parent and the child. However, during that support, you need to apply tough love, because if you don't, you will definitely be presented with another grandkid. The most painful part of it is that the kids will be your responsibility from the get go, because the parent still has to be a child too. I know that there are rules, regulations, and rights in South Africa, and unfortunately, the kids will tell you a way to get off. But the sad part is that same law doesn't protect them when they become parents. The same law is providing 500 rands or whatever grant amount it is, which really is a slap on the face. I honestly think that that amount is sufficient for 1 tin of milk that will last for 5 days, and disposable nappies for 3 days. There should not be any joy in having babies for the sake of getting it. Parents of boys need to start serious talks with their sons about puberty, sex, and conception or pregnancy. The responsibility is the same regardless of whether you are a girl parent or not. At least talk about the consequences of having an unwanted baby with both the boy and the girl. The sad part of it is that you all keep on throwing baby showers for these unwanted, unplanned pregnancies because you think you are being supportive. But there is one thing you need to remember, and this happens also to us adults. We tend to envy other people. So the other young people will envy the same baby shower that you're throwing for that child, and decide to also walk on the same footsteps as their peer who is being celebrated. You are too quick to throw a baby shower, but you cannot even buy your child a lollipop for doing well in his or her own schoolwork. You keep on celebrating the wrong things and then get surprised when those wrong things escalate. You are the water, the manure that keeps on fertilizing that messed up garden. Remember, the garden is green only because of the amount of manure, shit, that you put on it. So ask yourself as a parent, what are you putting on your child's garden life? Talk to your children about sex, or they will learn it from their peers and the internet. Sadly, it all depends on which part of the internet they are searching. It is your child, your innocent baby. But let's face the fact. You were also perceived as such before, and look at all the stages you went through, and some of you wish you had someone to talk to, an adult. Maybe things would have turned out a different way. Start by being honest with yourself. Admit that you are not holier than thou. You are not a virgin, hence you were a parent. You made mistakes, and as much as you claim to love your child, that same child could have been a mistake. Having that child as a mistake doesn't mean that you love them any less. It just means that you were not ready. Once you accept that, you will be able to open up to your child and give them real life advice that will save him or her and you. If you do not talk to your child, they will prey on them. There are vultures out there, be it male or female, who are preying on your innocent child. They have the ability to open up to your child, gaining their trust and making them feel more comfortable and safe around them. In turn, making you, as a parent, appear to be the enemy. Both sexes are responsible for bringing a child to this world, so have the talk with both of them. As much as you think that girls are the only ones prone to sexual abuse, you will be surprised at the number of boys who lost their virginity to older people. I always advise parents to a girl child to consider taking their children to the doctors for contraception. Because even as much as the child would tell you that they're not ready yet for contraception and they don't want it because they're not having sex, the fact of the matter is we need to learn from our own mistakes. When it comes to sex and feelings and emotions and boys and girls alone, those thoughts of I'm not ready yet and I don't want to do this, or I'm not in taking any pill, it goes out the window. And then they do things at the spur of the moment, and that spur of the moment is going to cause you and the child a lifetime of having to raise an unwanted child. We usually get girls saying that they don't want to take contraceptives because it makes them gain weight, it makes them eat a lot, or it makes them, feel somehow. But I would rather, as a parent, have my child experiencing all those signs or symptoms of the contraception pill instead of having a child that isn't unwanted. And at the end of the day, the very same child, your child, who gave birth, will eventually go on a pill or an injection for contraception. So whatever reasons that the child might bring to you, as much as it makes sense at that moment, just remember that you will not be holding their hand in everything that they do in life. So the best thing to do is to know that they are actually taking contraceptions in order to avoid unwanted pregnancy. And then what's left for them to do on their own is to make sure that they actually prevent any unwanted sexually transmitted diseases. Remember, at the end of the day, pregnancy has nothing to do with whatever higher power you believe in, but pure biology. When biology says you are ready, it doesn't matter how old you are. So start the talk at a very young age. Ka Setswana gatwe, o le ore le santse le fisa, which translates to teach them while they are still young. Proverbs 19 verse 18 says, discipline your children while they are young enough to learn. If you don't, you are helping them destroy themselves. So this simply means that when your child comes home and they're pregnant and you decide not to have the talk with them and you decide to be throwing baby showers and everything, you are actually helping them destroy themselves, because most of them will tend to bring another grandchild because they realize that the first thing that they did, the first child that they had all the support from you. You need to give them tough love, as much as it might be tough on both you and the child. But in order to teach them in future to be responsible, you will have to apply that tough love. Even the Bible says so, for those who believe in the Bible. It's not about you being ready as a parent. It's not about you at all. Your time has passed. It's about your child. Thank you once again for watching till the end. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't. Hit the like button, turn on notifications, and share.